something that has kind of been unavoidable this summer in movies and film and television is Barbenheimer. You know, people apparently aren't going to the movies as much. Movies aren't making as much as they should be. But one thing that's really kind of focused the industry is Barbie and Oppenheimer. And it's been interesting to see how these two very different tonal extremes have brought people together for this weird double feature, and how there's even kind of some thematic crossover in these two very different movies. So what's interesting is, as much as Barbenheimer has kind of brought people together, anime kind of tackled this exact same thing decades earlier in the late 90s. And so in order to discuss kind of anime's Barbenheimer equivalent, it makes sense to break down each of these extremes separately. So first, let's get into the Barbie side of it. Now, in Japan, instead of having Barbie, there is a fashion doll called Lica. Now, Lica was created in 1967, and it was a fashion doll that basically, its whole purpose was to provide dreams for girls, which is kind of a bleak statement, but I mean, this is what was going on at the time. And very much like Barbie, Lica is a doll that would have different versions of itself. There was even a pregnant Lica, which caused a bit of a controversy. But the whole idea is that Lica was so powerful that when Mattel was going to different countries to set up Barbie, they kind of just backed out of Japan because they couldn't compete with Lica. Lica was dominating the market, and even now, only Barbie and Lica are the two fashion dolls that have been around for more than 25 years. So it's not like these two things are both dolls, but they are very much analogs in that sense. Now, what's interesting is Lica was doing well, but in the late 90s, they wanted to create an anime version of this thing. So basically, the advent of Super Doll Licca-chan was to create lore to these dolls, because up until this point, they were just dolls. They didn't necessarily have a story. So Super Doll Licca-chan was to give them a story, but also to sell more action-oriented versions of these things out there. And by doing this, they tackled the magical girl genre, which, you know, things like Sailor Moon and Cardcaptors. What Super Doll Licca-chan wanted to do, though, is it has a doll kingdom where all the doll knight Licas come from, which is very similar to the Barbie movie's depiction of Barbie Land, and every doll knight Lica has a human counterpart, and their symptoms are analogous to them. So if a human counterpart is feeling sad, their Lica equivalent is also sad. If they're happy, they're also happy. So what I thought was kind of interesting about this is Lica, which started as this product that was supposed to provide dreams for girls. The anime version of it has kind of commodified magical girl culture, and instead of selling dreams, it's now just selling a product. It's taken this kind of pure thing and really twisted it into, you know, just dollars and cents. And that's not dissimilar to what's gone on in the Barbie movie. You know, you have all this cheerful imagery, these ideas that are supposed to be empowering, but at the end of the day, it's kind of just a veneer for, you know, corporate synergy and just manipulation in the end. These people think that this product is inspirational, but there are kind of sinister means to it. Now, what's also interesting between Barbie and Lica is Barbie has kind of been held up as this transformative toy movie. You know, there have been toy movies before Barbie, but Barbie has kind of shown what can be done. There are now all these Mattel movies that are in production, and Barbie has kind of been foisted as this like new bastion of how to do this thing right. And not dissimilar to that is with Super Doll Licca-chan, they took something like the magical girl genre, which was kind of just transformative escapism, but they added a deeper narrative to it and used it to kind of influence a whole new generation of magical girl shows. You know, we now have magical girl shows that challenge gender norms, like Revolutionary Girl Utina and Review Starlight. You also have magical girl shows that are psychological horror things. You have magical girl shows where girls are literally fighting manifestations of their inner demons, like Madoka Magica and Wonder Egg Priority. So even though Super Doll Licca-chan kind of just seems like this silly show about Barbie dolls that are fighting giant dragons and scorpions and weird enemies, it did kind of, you know, rewrite the narrative of what a magical girl show can be, just like how the Barbie movie has rewritten the narrative for what a toy movie can be.